Hi there, welcome to our first team PLC. In order to honor our goal to learn as many of the STTSs we can in a little more depth than just what our book tells us, I chose the participation quiz today. This is something that interests me. I know it was offered up in a lesson I already taught this week. But I wasn't ready to teach it because I didn't really understand how to do it. And so what I've done is created something that you can always use in class, and you can use it virtually too if you're teaching virtually. So the participation quiz, the little card we have says you pick a team-worthy task. So again, we're focusing on the teaming aspect and not on the content. Tell students which norm you're focusing on. So we never want to leave them in the dark. We want them to know what we're looking for. Show teams how you are keeping track. So I made a Google slide so that's easy to project. You can type in it as you go, or if you want to project it and write it as you go, that's up to you. You could even, if you don't want to use technology, you could make yourself an anchor chart. Record your comments while your students are looking, and this is probably what I like most about this, because what you're seeing and what you're hearing, it gives them a time to self-correct. So I really like that. And then at the end, you're just going to do a quick debrief, what you liked, what you thought you could they could maybe improve on, what questions they might still have, and what compliments they have for each other. So when we look at the Google slide that I created, I'm going to share this in Classroom. I think I already have, actually. So then you can just make your own copy and then make it however you want. So the team norm up here, you would pick whatever team norm you really think that they need to work on. So maybe they're not doing great at asking each other questions. So that's say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be really listening for some good questions between teams, like in your team. So good discourse. And then as they work, again, this would be up to you whether you want to use it for the entire activity. I think I would only do it for about 10 minutes, because if you're going to start right away listening and they know what they're supposed to be focusing on, you can start typing right away, and it gives them some time to self-correct. But if you want to use it for a whole activity, that'd be fine too. And then so I have mine are just team one. I have 6 teams in my room. So then I would just start recording comments that I'm hearing coming from teams. You would want some that are really great, and then you might want some that aren't so great, just so kids can learn from non-examples also. And then they can give each other feedback. Well, you could have reworded it this way, or rather than stating, I don't get it, what's a question you could have asked? So, and I would probably encourage during the debrief, especially your team that did really well, ask them to reflect or maybe share with the class some of the questions that they asked their team that were helpful. And then maybe a team that didn't do so well, after they've listened to the team, ask them what they could have changed. So that is my take on the participation quiz.